Alright, this is John Colo at DiscountJuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you, and actually this episode is specifically made for kids because I have my nephew over today, Nico, and I'm going to be sharing with him why juicing is important to do and why I believe it to be a necessity in this day and age, and we're going to get his input on it. In addition, we're going to introduce you guys to a kid-friendly juicer. Of course, your kids have to be of a certain age. How old are you, Nico?
11.
So he's 11. So if you're 11, this is the juice you want to get, and we will explain why in a minute. And if you have, young kids, you may want to pay attention to the kind of juicer you buy, because it, may mean that your kids can help you or not help you, because some juicers you could literally fit your hand down and then it would not be safe. And safety first. The other thing I will point out is that we are using child-safe knives, including a butter knife with no edge and a cake knife that is plastic that will not cut you. Please supervise your children if they'll be using any kind of sharp cutting instruments. Also, please supervise your children when juicing, right? Just because, this is a safer juicer for kids, things go wrong, things happen, and it's important to watch your kids. So in any case, let's get started with this video. But before I do, I'm going to drink my second juice of the day, which is my carrot root juice with beets and ginger. And Nico, I want to ask you, what did your dad drink today?
Gatorade. Boo!
So Nico, is Gatorade better or worse than a juice that Uncle John made fresh? The Gatorade's worse. Why is the Gatorade worse?
Because it has sugar.
Yeah, but this has sugar too, so why is this Gatorade worse than this that has some sugar in it?
Because it has, bad stuff, and that's free from fruits and vegetables.
Right, because while this does have some small amounts of sugar, there's lots of water in here. There's also lots of different pigments and colors. You guys can see the color on that. It's like, what color is this, Nico?
Purple.
It's like purple, red color. And these are the different nutritions in the fruits and vegetables. And the juice is made of entirely fruits and vegetables with no added fillers, preservatives, or otherwise. And juice also can expire fast, so that's why you want to make it fresh every day if at all possible. And yeah, I've been drinking juice for 25 years straight now at this point. And Nico, what are some differences you've seen between me and your dad, which actually is my brother?
Oh, my dad drank Gatorade, and you drink healthy stuff.
All right, great. And who's in a better physical shape?
You.
All right.
You have a six-pack.
Well, I don't quite have a six-pack. If I worked on it, I could. But, so here's the thing, right? If you eat healthy food, you're going to be in healthy shape. And if you eat unhealthy food and food in excess, you're not going to be in healthy shape. Okay, so I don't really want to go into that so much more. So I want to learn, Nico, from you what you learned in school about eating healthy. Did you learn about eating healthy in school?
Yeah.
And what do they teach you?
So if you ate a hamburger, it'd make you tired.
It does? They teach you that in school?
Yeah, and if you eat fruits and vegetables, it gives you more energy.
They taught you that in school. What teacher taught you that?
My English teacher.
Oh, your English teacher. Well, that's really cool. Props to your English teacher. She got her right for sure. So, here's the thing. We want to eat healthy food. Healthy food is fresh fruits and fresh vegetables and other plant foods in their whole natural state. If you're buying things in packages like little candy bars or sodas that's already pre-made at the store, those foods could have additives in there, including preservatives, added sugar that's processed that doesn't have the nutrition to go along with it. Whereas all these vegetables, are different colors, number one, and number two, they have different nutrients that are good for our body to keep us healthy. So, Nico, how many vegetables and fruits do you normally eat in a day?
Maybe I eat blueberries.
And how many would you have? This many blueberries? Or just half that, or maybe a little bit of that, or what?
Maybe half that.
Oh, half of that. All right. Well, that's good. Blueberries are healthy.
And then my dad sometimes makes smoothies for breakfast.
Okay. Well, smoothies are good too, because you usually put, fruits and vegetables and blend them up in there.
And then sometimes my mom makes mac and cheese and pasta, but it has like zucchini and stuff.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Yeah. So the more fruits and vegetables you could eat, the healthier you'll be. Your Uncle John eats basically most of what he eats is fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
I don't really eat any too much else other than fruits and vegetables because they're the healthiest, and Uncle John doesn't want to, compromise his health or his immune system by eating the foods that cause ill health. Okay. So here's the thing, Nico. Have you ever eaten all these fruits and vegetables in one day?
No.
No.
Last time I had this was probably with you.
The last time you had celery was with me?
Yeah.
When was that?
Maybe like 6 months ago or something.
Oh my gosh, you haven't eaten celery in 6 months?
Yeah.
Wow, do you know what the government tells us on how many fruits and vegetables we should eat a day?
No.
They tell us anywhere, depending on who you ask, between 5 and 10 servings of fruits and vegetables, which a serving could be considered a cup. So that's not a lot of food cups, because this is already like, this is like 8 cups. This is 8 cups. If we fill this to the brim, this is like probably at least like 2 cups right there. And like fruits and vegetables are so healthy, they're mostly water content. So you had said you make smoothies in the morning.
Yeah.
So smoothies are using a blender, and a blender will basically blend up everything you put in there, and then you get to drink it.
Yeah.
Right? And a juicer is a little bit different than a smoothie, because when you put things in a juicer, 2 things come out. You get the juice over here, and then you get the pulp over here. And the pulp is the insoluble fiber.
You can still eat it, right?
You can still eat it, but it tastes pretty plain. You could try it later in this video.
Okay.
It tastes pretty plain, and I feed it to my compost pile, which then turns it into soil, and then I put that in my garden so I could grow more food in my garden. So that's why the juicing is different, because the juicing removes some of the fiber, but there's 2 main types of fiber in produce. There is soluble fiber and insoluble fiber. And do you know what those words mean?
No.
No. So soluble means it dissolves in water. So if you have some red dye, did you ever do red dye experiments in school? You put the red dye and you put it in water, and then it turns the water like pink?
No.
No? Well, I did that when I was a kid. So anyways, that dissolves in the water. So if you put something in water and it dissolves, that means it's water soluble. It'll dissolve in the water, right? If you put like salt in water, it dissolves because it disappears. It dissolves in the water. So the juice has the soluble fiber in the juice that dissolves in the water, and then the insoluble fiber comes out with the pulp, and that's the stuff that we don't eat. That adds a lot of bulk to the foods that may contain some nutrition, but the majority of the nutrition, based on the research I've seen, is actually in the skin and in the seeds and locked in the cell walls of the produce. So that's why juicing in some levels is better than making smoothies, because it literally extracts out the nutrients and concentrates them, because you couldn't eat 5 pounds of carrots, but if you juice 5 pounds of carrots, you could have 4 cups of juice. So would you rather eat 5 pounds of carrots or drink 4 cups of juice?
4 cups of juice.
Why?
Because it's like juiced.
Yeah, because it's juice and it's easier to digest, and now you have basically nutrition from 5 pounds of carrots that you would never eat. I mean, especially if you haven't eaten celery in 6 months. Now you're going to get to eat some of that, because we're going to make a juice for his dad and for me and everything. And so now we're basically going to turn all this into some juice. And so literally in this jar, which is a quart or 32 ounces of juice, there is 4 pounds of produce in this juice right here. So that's like eating, maybe like this whole container will turn into like this much juice.
Yeah.
And this way I could eat a lot more fruits and vegetables than I normally would. And maybe you could even have 1 juice in the morning, and you could meet all your recommended amounts of fruits and vegetables you should eat.
Yeah.
Right? Instead of other things that are not as healthy. All right, Nico. So let's talk about this. So do you know what this is?
Yeah, kale. This
is kale, and actually Nico just picked this fresh out of my garden. Actually, this happens to be some kind of like purple kale with purple stems. And do you know why kale is good for you, Nico?
Because it's purple.
Yeah, well, kale is good because it's purple. Things that are purple are more nutritious than things that are green in general, as long as it's a plant food that has the purple in there. They have these properties called anthocyanins that make it purple that they have done research on. But the other thing is kale is related to broccoli, and it's like an anti-cancer food. It also helps keep you young, right? And have you ever eaten this much kale in your life?
No.
No. And see, now today we're going to juice all this kale, and then now you're going to get to eat the kale. So why don't you try some of this kale, Nico?
Okay.
We'll break off some of that. Try it. Eat some of that. Tell everybody what you think it tastes like.
Healthy.
It tastes healthy. Does it taste bitter?
Yep.
Is it sour?
Really bitter because I haven't had kale in a really long time.
Yeah, so do you really like it? I mean, even though it's healthy, it doesn't taste maybe the best, right? Or what do you think? Do you think it tastes good?
No.
Would you rather eat that or a candy bar?
Candy bar.
Right. So the challenge is, some healthy foods may not taste that good, and that's why juicing could be good, because we could put the foods that maybe don't taste that good with some foods like grapes. Once you eat one of these grapes, these are black organic grapes, Nico, and let me know what tastes better, the grapes or the kale?
The grapes.
The grapes taste better than the kale, yeah, because the grapes are naturally sweet, and they're sweeter, and so people generally like sweeter things instead of bitter things. But here's the cool thing: we're gonna combine the sweet stuff with the bitter thing, or the kale that's more strong, and then we lose the bitter flavor, so the juice is gonna taste good. But now you're gonna get to eat kale that you would never otherwise eat. Did you follow that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now it's like you're mixing the two together and making it really good. So. I guess without further ado, let's go ahead and get juicing. Now the one thing I want to do is we're going to make sure this juicer is safe for Nico to use, and I'm choose the Omega NC800 today. This is the same exact juicer that I actually bought for my parents, which is actually his grandparents, to juice, because it is so easy and simple and safe to use. You basically put the produce in, it juices it on up. It's very easy to clean. It takes me 80 seconds to clean. And also it's child safe because the feed chute is not large enough. All right, Nico, so just to make sure that we're going to be safe here, we're going to go ahead, and the feed chute on this is small. They do have juicers that have wide feed chutes, and I do not encourage you guys to let kids use juicers with wide feed chutes because they can put their hand down in there. With this machine, I mean, I can't even get down in there. So Nico, I'll give you $5 if you're able to touch your fingers down to the auger down there.
Okay.
Can you do it? Can you do it? $5. $20. What if I gave you $100?
No.
If you did it. All right, Nico's trying with all his might to get $100. Oh my God, you're still an inch away. You can't do it. All right, offer's over. All right, so Nico could not make $100, but this machine is safe because you can't get your hands in there. I mean, there's warning stickers on every juicer. Do not stick your hands in the juicer. And the other thing, Nico, is when we put things in the juicer, we only put 2 things in the juicer. And that's either the produce we're putting in, which is the fruits and vegetables, or we're going to push in the pusher. You should not put your hands in there, your dog's paws. You shouldn't be like, oh, there's something stuck. I'm going to use the knife. Don't put the knife in there. Don't be like the 2 ex-girlfriends I had that actually put knives in my machines and broke my juicers. That's not the reason why they're my ex-girlfriends, though. All right. So I guess with that, let's just start juicing now. Some of the things you will need to pre-cut. All the produce has been pre-washed. If you do want to have an easier time juicing, you should buy pre-washed foods like at the store. So for example, like baby carrots are pre-washed, and in my opinion, an 11-year-old could take the carrots, open up the bag, and just put it through the juicer and have easy juice. In addition, the grapes, you just drop the grapes in there. Something like the celery, they sell the celery stalks like pre-washed, ready to go, like organic at Costco these days, that he could also just push right into the juicer. That is pre-washed. Now something like apples, right? Apples aren't going to fit into the juicer, so you're going to have to pre-cut them. So have you ever cut apples before, Nico?
No.
All right, so why don't we try this knife first and try to cut it down. Do you know how to cut things? You cut strawberries, right? So go back and forth like a saw. Go all the way down and make sure your fingers aren't in the way. All right, good job. So you cut it in half.
Now you cut it like this?
Yeah, so cut it like that again, and then cut it one more time.
Okay.
All right, good job. Yeah, being safe with the cake knife.
Okay, now like this.
No, we don't have to cut it anymore, because now pick that up and see if it fits in the juicer. But don't drop it in yet. All right, now pull it up. Yeah, so it fits fine. All right, so we're good. Now let's cut this one out.
Okay. Okay, got it.
All right, see if those pieces fit.
Okay.
See, that's going to fit. It's pretty big. Oh, it barely fit. Oh, you dropped it in there. All right, let's grab it out. All right. All right, let's cut the next 2 apples up. We'll put these over to the side, and we'll cut more apples up.
Okay.
We want to try to keep the apples to the side. Remember, use it like a saw. Go back and forth. It's going to work a lot better than if you just try to push down with all your strength.
Okay.
And always make sure when you're cutting, your hand is out of the way so you don't cut your hand. So Nico got all the apples cut successfully with the plastic knife, and now Nico, pick out the cucumber. You know which one is a cucumber?
On this thing?
Yeah, that's a big cucumber. So now we're going to cut that in little pieces so that you can put in the juicer.
Like this?
Yeah, cut it like that. Yeah.
Okay.
But will that piece fit, or you have to cut it smaller?
It'll fit.
Oh, it'll fit. All right, keep cutting them then.
Okay,
All right,
got it.
see if one of these middle pieces will fit. It looks pretty big. It doesn't fit. Doesn't fit. How are you going to do it?
In the middle?
All right, cut in the middle. All right, let's see if it fits. Will it fit now?
Yeah.
All right, it fits. All right, make sure the other pieces are cut so they'll fit. Yeah, I think you have maybe a couple more pieces that are too big, right? Yeah, this is good. This teaches like it teaches him like, will this fit in this hole? It's kind of like, did you have to do this when you were a kid? You have to take the little squares and put them in the circles and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is kind of like the same thing, but this is like a real world example. Because these are actually, he's cutting circular discs, and he has to put them in this kind of like oval kind of shape. That one fit? Oh, not quite. It's too tight. Can't fit too tight. Have to cut it in half. All right, I think you need maybe like 2 more cuts. Do you see the ones you have to cut?
This one and this
Yep, exactly. All right, now that we got it all cut, you can put the knife down, and now we're going to start juicing.
Cool.
So Nico, to juice, I'll show you how to do it, and I'll explain it, and then you're going to go ahead and do it, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to turn the machine on, and you got to make sure it's on and not reverse. And then the juicer turns on. You're going to want to make sure this is to 5. You see the little 5 right there?
Yeah.
And then you can go all the way back to 1. We're going to go make sure it's on 5. And now we're going to take the softest thing. What do you think the softest thing is?
This.
Well, the grapes I think are a little soft. So you can take like, a couple grapes.
Okay.
And just put them in the machine, and then they drop in. And if you look out the bottom of the machine, we're going to see purple grape juice coming out. And out the front, you'll see the pulp. After that, we're going to then put in maybe like some apples that's also pretty soft. And then you can maybe take the pusher and push in the apple. So now the apple is getting crushed up in juice. You can see the apple juice coming out. And then we're going to take some of the cucumber and put the cucumber in there. And use the pusher to push the cucumber in. Next, we're going to go ahead and take some kale. So we're going to take some of the kale, and no pre-cutting of the kale is necessary. We're going to put that in the machine. And then we're going to push that in. And then finally we're going to go ahead and put in one of these celeries. So you can push the celery in as long as your finger's above the feed chute. Once it gets down a little bit further, then you're going to go ahead and then use the pusher to push it in.
Okay.
And then what you can see is happening is this juicer is crushing up and squeezing out the produce. Like if you're really strong, you can take this and squeeze out the juice. Well, we have juicers to do that for us, and you can see the juice came out and the pulp is coming out here. So do you want to try this pulp, Nico? It's a mixture of all the different stuff we just juiced. Tell me what it tastes like.
It tastes really bad.
Why does it taste bad? It's really dry. Is it really dry?
Yeah.
And it doesn't really taste like anything, right? It just tastes like you're eating nothing.
Yeah.
That's because all the nutrition is come out the pulp, and it goes into the glass here. So, we're going to get to drink this later, and that's why...
It's the waste.
Yeah, this is like the waste, right? But when you do a smoothie, you combine these two together. So you're kind of getting some of the waste with the juice. So juicing is better because now it allows you to get more fruits and vegetables in you. All right, Nico, so I'm just going to watch you juice one thing at a time. So you want to go ahead and do it?
Okay.
Okay, how hard is it to push the apple into the juicer? Is it hard or easy?
It's easy.
All right, it's easy, yeah. It's pretty easy to juice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could juice if you're 11. And you can see everything gets smushed up by the juicer.
Yeah. Celery stick.
Celery stick, yeah. All right, Alright, good job. Nico's juicing really well, and all he has to do now is just continue the same pattern. The grapes, apples, cucumbers, kale, and the celery until he's done. I think to save you guys some time, we're going to go ahead and speed this up for you guys, and we'll be back at you when we're finished. Alright, so we've already got a quart of juice, and in general a quart of juice is about 4 pounds of produce. As you can see, the produce was literally turned into the pulp here, which is the insoluble fiber, plus the juice, which is the soluble fiber, plus all the nutrition. And as you guys can see, it's actually quite purple. So, you know, I taught Nico previously about different colors in the food. So, Nico, what are some important colors that we want to eat in foods?
Purple is the healthiest, but if you don't have purple, like green or blue.
Exactly, purple, green, blue, and then there's also like things that are red in color.
Oh yeah, red.
Are we juicing anything red today?
No.
We got the apples.
Well, it's not really red.
It is red on the outside.
White. Oh, okay.
And then green, we got purple and black. Alright, so we're going to pour off some of this juice, and then we're going to go ahead and continue juicing. And now we're going to get back to juicing. I think the best thing is we were working together, so he was picking up each item and I was pushing in the machine so that could kind of save time. But I think what I'm going to do next is we're just going to let Nico juice the rest of this stuff all on his own, and I'll be watching from actually the other side of the room.
So now I'm going to juice, I'm going to turn on the machine, and I'm going to put these grapes in, and then I'm going to put the apples in, and I'm going to put this in, and then some lettuce or kale. And I need the pusher because it got stuck. I'm going to push it in right now. Okay, now I'm going to put the celery in. Okay, now I'm going to put some more grapes. To put some apple, then some cucumber, now some celery, put some more grapes in. You always want to put out the celery last because it helps push out the softer fruit pulp that's in the machine. Put some celery in here. Okay, so I think we're finished. So I'm going to turn it off.
Alright, Nico did an excellent job juicing in the Omega NC800 being supervised with me off camera. And so we're going to go ahead and move this underneath so we don't get drips. And we have a whole nother container of a quart of juice. So we have a quart plus whatever's there. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and save some for his dad. So we're using a mason jar with these special vacuum lids. If you do want to save your juice, you know, I recommend you guys store them under vacuum. I'll put a link down below in the description to a video where I show how to do this specifically. And it's super simple. You can just get these lids on Amazon. Then there's a vacuum pump, and you suck out the extra air. This will ensure that your juice stays the freshest and keeps the most nutrition because the air causes oxidation and can lower the nutritional quality of the juice, and it could go bad more quickly. Generally, they say without a vacuum, you could store the juices for up to 3 days, but I like to store the juices under vacuum for up to 5 days max, although it is best to make the juice fresh every day. So Nico, do you think you could make this juice for your parents and yourself like every day if they kind of like supervise you a little bit?
Yeah, I think so, because it's really easy.
Yeah, it was really easy. All right, so now we're going to vacuum pack the juice. So we're going to put this lid on the top right here, and then you're going to use this pump, and you're going to hold the pump down with one hand and then lift up on that.
Okay.
Lift up. Hit one more time. Do it one more time. All right, that's good. Stop. Don't do it again. And now, when Nico's vacuum packed this right, we can turn this upside down, and it stays in there because this is we removed all the excess oxygen. Well, we're going to put this in the fridge for his dad, so his dad could drink later. And Nico and I will be drinking our fresh juice. Here, Nico, grab that one, and I'll grab this one. All right, don't drink it yet. All right, Nico, so in this, there's like, let's see, this is probably 16 ounces. This is probably 2 pounds of the produce that we just juiced. Here's like 2 pounds in here, 2 pounds in there, maybe 3 pounds in there, and then we have probably another couple, this is another basically 2 pounds in here. And that's we're literally concentrating all the juice. All right, Nico, to your health. And let's taste it.
So good.
What does it taste like to you? Is it better than Gatorade that your dad gives you?
Yeah, it's way better.
Oh my God, what do you taste in there? Did you taste the grapes or the apples? Or
Yeah.
do you taste the kale? Remember you tasted the kale earlier and it didn't taste so good?
No, now it tastes very good.
You can't even tell there's kale in there, right? This is so healthy and so delicious, and it's purple and green, and we got the red in there, we got the apples in there, got the cucumber for the water, we got the celery in there, good for the electrolytes. It's one of the healthiest things you could drink. All right, Nico, so if your dad had a juicer and your dad and your mom bought you the produce, would you juice in it every day so you could drink something that tastes like this that is so good for you, and so you could be really healthy when you get, older, like your Uncle John?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so I'm about to talk to your dad. Maybe I'll let you guys borrow this, and you could start juicing in it if he'll help you, support you to do that.
Yeah, that would be excellent.
Yeah, I mean, I'm confident that, with even little supervision and making it easy for Nico to juice, he can do this now for him and his family so that he can be healthier. Plus, it tastes so good. And, I mean, I don't have to tell anybody that this stuff is better than Gatorade, better than Coke, better than Pepsi, and better than most processed foods that most kids eat. So I'm glad I'm able to, let you guys know about the health benefits of juicing and how even an 11-year-old could juice in the Omega. Do you have any questions for your Uncle John before we sign off today, Nico?
Nope.
All right, do you want to say anything out to the other kids and adults that are watching in
Yeah.
YouTube land right now?
Yeah, keep on growing.
All right, yeah, so keep on growing fresh produce in your garden. Maybe I'll have an episode with Nico in my garden and teach him more about growing food and eating the natural health food, because it's something that I've really gotten into. It's been literally one of my biggest passions and hobbies in my life now for the last 25 years, and I'm glad I get to share this with my nephew and get him things to eat, get him to eat healthy things that not only taste good but are going to fuel his body, give him the endurance and the strength he needs to be the baseball star that hopefully one day he will become. All right, so in any case, if you guys enjoyed this episode with my nephew Nico, hey, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Also, please be sure to share this with other kids, other adults that have kids, so that they can learn some of the benefits of juicing and how easy it is to juice in the Omega NC800 when supervised. Also, be sure to support me by making your purchase at discountjuicers.com. This allows me to continue to make these educational videos, have my nephew over, buy my organic produce, to educate the world about the power of fruits and vegetables and getting more of them into you through juicing. And before we go, Nico, do you think you would have eaten 2 pounds of fruits and vegetables today if it wasn't for your Uncle John and you that made this juice that has 2 pounds of vegetables in here?
Definitely not.
That's like basically almost all the servings you need probably, to meet the requirements. And that's how easy juicing is. Whether you're a child or an adult or anybody of any age, juicing, in my opinion, is the best way to concentrate the nutrients out of the fruits and vegetables so that you can be healthier. and at the same time, more importantly, displace the junk foods that are simply not healthy for us. Also, be sure to click that subscribe button right down below so you don't miss out on my new and upcoming episodes coming out about every 5 to 7 days. You never know where I'll show up or what be learning on my YouTube channel. I may be comparing two new juicers, even talking about vacuum blenders, or maybe even making another video with my amazing nephew, Nico, here. And make sure you click the little bell so you get notified as my new videos come out. And finally, be sure to check my past episodes. The past episodes are a wealth of knowledge, over 500 episodes at this time on this YouTube channel, dedicated to teaching you guys all about the different juicers, vacuum blenders, and appliances that allow you to eat more fresh fruits and vegetables and get them into your life. So with that, my name is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Be sure to visit DiscountJuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for our YouTube visitors.